So you think you're being rejected for jobs because you're overqualified, but the truth is you are not overqualified. You are just not presenting the value of what you have to offer to an employer in the right way. As a career coach, people are coming to me saying that they're in this limbo because they're applying for jobs that they know that they could absolutely do really, really well, but they're getting rejected. So then what they decide to do is they decide to go for these entry level jobs instead. And then they get rejected because they're overqualified. This is a problem with clarity. I'm Lydia, and I help people in their mid career to change tack, to make career changes into new industries where you currently feel like you may have no experience and you don't know how to shift into these new industries, which is why you keep applying for entry level positions as opposed to the positions that you really want to go for. I'm here to explain to you why you are qualified for those roles that you want to go for. We just need to work on being really clear about what it is that you have to offer to the workplace so that the hiring manager can see that you are an opportunity and not a risk. You might have received lots of feedback from hiring managers that you're overqualified, that they're going in a different direction. And I want to explain a little bit about why that might be happening. Because when we can see the problem and what might be causing it, that's when you are in control and you can make some changes. So employers want to make safe choices. They want to go with the low risk option. And what we see when you're making a transition from one industry into another, you come with loads of knowledge, loads of skills, loads of experience, but the hiring manager may not have any understanding of your previous career path. So when you're talking about your experience, it can be really difficult for them to join the dots and understand why that would be valuable in their context, in their company, in their industry. So what we want to be doing is we want to make it so clear to them why you are a low risk option. So if you're going in this strategy, they're going to be asking questions like, well, are they going to leave really quickly because they're going to get bored, they're not challenged? Are they going to be expecting a higher salary in a couple of months' time? Are they going to come for my job? These are all psychological questions that really impact on hiring decisions. So this is where we need to be answering those questions in your applications, in your interviews, so that you can lower that risk level to make that hiring manager see you as a win and help that hiring manager see that you are an opportunity and not a risk to the company. So the biggest mistake that I see highly capable people making in this situation is they cast the net too wide because they see a job description and they think, well, I could do that. Maybe I could do that, because you come with so much experience, so much knowledge, so many skills. But I want to go back to this. What if we stayed at the high level positions that you know you could do? And what if we stayed there and allowed you to just reposition yourself, to make yourself that opportunity for a hiring manager rather than a risk? So what you really need to do, the solution for both of those problems, is clarity. It's getting really clear on what is the next logical step, using all of the skills, all the experience, all of the knowledge that you have. You need to come up with this narrative that shows the hiring manager that you are the right person for the job, that you have this combination, this really interesting set of skills that no other candidate is going to have, that is going to be really valuable to their company. It is your job as the applicant to join those dots for the hiring manager, because they are going to be very unlikely to be able to do it for themselves. And when you're building this narrative, you need to present it to the hiring manager in a way that shows that you are not a risk, that explains why this is the next logical step in your career, that explains what it is you want. So to get to that point, to be able to share that narrative, you need to get really clear on what is it you want. You are applying strategically for that next step in your career that is going to make sense to you and is going to make sense to the hiring manager. So let me give you something really practical that you can do to get clear on your transferable skills so that you can show the value that you have to offer from your previous experience and how that relates to the new job that you are interested in applying for. So I want you to grab a piece of paper and you're going to split it into 3 columns. And in the left-hand column, I want you to write down all your skills, your strengths, your experience, your knowledge. What are the things that you're really proud of that you've done up till this point? What are the responsibilities that people have given you? What are the things that you've really excelled at? Write them in your left hand column. And then in the right hand column, you want to be thinking about the job that you're interested in. What kind of skills, strengths, experience will the hiring manager be looking for? If you've got a job description to hand, you might want to list some of the things there. But another way of doing this is putting yourself in the position of the hiring manager. If you were hiring someone to do that job, what kind of things would you be looking for? And then in the middle column, this is where we're thinking about how your current skill set, your current experience makes sense. What strengths are going to be really, really valuable in that industry? So this is where we start to think about our transferable skills. So making a list, being really specific and getting clear on the value that you have to offer based on what you already do, what you already know really, really well, and how and why that is valuable as you step into this new industry. And this is the start of you naming these things so that you can create this narrative that's going to really help the hiring manager to see why you would be a great fit for this role. If you want a template to help you put together your skills stack, then you can grab a link to a resource in the description below that's going to help you to put it together. Now, a really common worry that people have is narrowing down their options too far, particularly when you've experienced lots of rejections up till this point. But what I've seen from working with clients is that the opposite is true. That actually, the clearer you get, the more focused you get in your job search, the more your confidence will grow. And you can say that so clearly, so confidently, when you are 100% sure that this career move makes sense for you and you are 100% sure of the value that you have to offer in that industry to help solve that problem. So what you'll find is that your job applications will be stronger when you've narrowed down your options and you've grown that confidence of the value that you have to offer the workplace. You are going to find your job search goes so much more smoothly and you're going to get less rejections and you are going to find a job that makes sense for you and it makes sense for the hiring managers. And that is the power of getting clear on what it is that you want to do next in your career. Say there is a document that you can grab in the description below to help you figure out your skill set and your transferable skills that you are going to be taking forward into this next step in your career. And I hope to see you in my next video.